I've been working on some samplers this month, and I was able to also get one sampler fully finished this month. So let's get right into it. Okay, I have notes and things to help me remember what to tell you all about. So the first one is called Never Laugh at Live Dragons, and it's by Modern Folk Embroidery. I've showed this before. It's on a 32 count linen, Marrakesh to Casablanca by Kaylee Tent Stitch. I was in her Fabric of the Month club for a year, and I started this May 26th, 24. I am using Gloriana Silks, the poinsettia, which is a variegated floss for the border, and then Schoolhouse Red for the dragon. This sampler is going to be a baby sampler for my grandson. He was born this year in August. My daughter-in-law is Chinese, and so he was born in the year of the dragon. Then so I will be putting some birth information down below. So I was able to get the whole border all the way around to there, and now obviously working on filling in the dragon. I'm really enjoying this. I'm trying to do this like one thread a day type stitch. The pattern came with a set of alphabets and numbers, which was great because then I could do up his information. And I did kind of draw it all out, and I spelt his name wrong. I left an I out. So now I have to kind of redo it to make sure it's all centered and whatnot. But it won't take too long. But that was this one. Okay. I'm just going to put it right down there. Okay. The next one that I'm working on, I just have to reach over to grab a few things. The next one that I'm working on is called Where Flowers Bloom by Christy Schmitz. It's from the Just Cross Stitch magazine. It was in a set of magazines, 6 magazines in the year 2021. And this is the picture. And it's a series, a band sampler based on a bunch of embroidery stitches. I had gotten a couple of done and then I didn't work on it very much. So I pulled this one out. And I do have it in a hoop just because you can see everything anyway. And I do park my threads, so you'll see some threads. We're all cross stitchers, we use thread, and this is where I'm at. So I'm right down here, and this is kind of like they call it, I think it's called a spider rosette. And so there'll be some, it's a kind of a weaving embroidery stitch, and it goes along the bottom. I have really enjoyed this. When I got this out and decided to do it, I pulled out some old threads that I had gotten way back in the 90s, 2000s, and they were by DMC, and they were called linen threads. So I pulled them all out. These are the palette, other than the ones that I'm working on for the roses. These will be the roses. Just a minute here. Wrapped around my thumb here. So these are going to be the roses with 3 different colors or shades of the burgundy pinks. And these are all the other colors. So I'm just picking colors that I want to do that. So it's not done in the cold floor. Yeah, these are linen threads way back. I thought they were too good. I never pulled them out, never ran across patterns that used these threads. Also, I just didn't have any fabric that I could use for the patterns that kind of came in the box. But I always thought they were too good. I was going to wait for something special kind of thing. Then I brought them out. I started this back, started back in 2022. And actually the threads, because they're linen, they're a natural fiber, they were actually really quite dry. And so I actually soaked them all and let them hang dry, just to sort of plump them up, rehydrate them. And they are better to work with. But I really, if I could encourage anyone, don't just put things in on a shelf for you to say, oh, I'm going to stitch those on something super special one day. Buy it, use it, do that. Because I had been given these as a gift and I just thought they were so special and I never did anything with them. And I'm almost at the point where they might have not been usable if I had left them too much longer. So yeah, so that was good. The other thing I wanted to show you, was I am left-handed, and so I was trying to find resources that would help me with these embroidery stitches. I'm just going to put that part away and that part away. And so I had kind of collected a few things that would sort of help me with that. The first one that I had got, and I can't even remember how I got this, but this was a book and it just has a bunch of embroidery. It does have a little bit of information on left-handed instructions, but it was kind of a start, and that was helpful. The next one that really, really has been helpful is this book here. And she's quite a well-renowned needle worker, I guess you'd call her. And this has been a big help. A great resource to go to get pictures, to kind of help see. This book I bought, and if I was doing more just like embroidery type stuff, I think this would be helpful. It hasn't really helped for some of the stitches that have called for here. So I think it's nice to have it in my arsenal, but for this project, it really hasn't done a lot. The resource that has helped me the most has been the Royal Stitch Bank, Royal Needlework Stitch Bank. It's a website, and I'll put it down below. And you can go to that website and you can look up all kinds of stitches. The great thing about it is they have pictures and you can flip the pictures, because basically I do something as a mirror image to whatever a right-handed person would be doing. So you can flip the stitches, the pictures, and then see it from a left-handed point of view. And that has been absolutely marvelous resource to see that. And then it has a video, so you can look at pictures on how to do the stitch itself, or at the bottom, you can watch a video on how to do it if you're more of a visual type learner. So I have found it absolutely, what's the word? Like, it's just been a fabulous resource. I couldn't have done some of this stuff without it. So it's been really great. Now, with this band sampler, I had started the ABC online workshop, Mrs. Parkman's Academy of Needlework. She has been doing a series based on a vintage sampler to teach people about different embroidery stitches. So I did start it. Bring this up for you to see. I did start it. She has had a wonderful set of videos teaching you about the different stitches, your stitch path, that kind of thing. It's just been invaluable. I'm not sure what I want to do here. What I'm actually thinking of doing is I'm actually thinking of finishing the rosettes on the other pattern and then doing a band, continuing a few more based on her stitches that she has in this. Not so much the pattern like this, but just like a row of reversible cross stitch, or a row of, what was one of these other ones? Like back stitch, a row of the faggot stitch. Some of that, which is what this is here. This is the faggot stitch. So I'm actually thinking of just doing it, finishing off the rosette, adding some of these, and then going back. I have, 4 more parts, I think, to finish off that other one, because it's quite a long piece of fabric, and I'm just going to add in whatever will fit on the fabric. So I might be combining these two. So, and these were ones where she just gave you the pattern, gave you some like general, like you need a blue, you need a red, a green, etc. And then you just picked your own colors anyway. So I've really enjoyed that. It's been really fun to learn some new stitches. And, but I think I might combine those to do that. But I, maintain the right to change my mind. So, okay, the next one I want to show you, I'm going to get this up here, is called Susanna Walker 1848. And this is a sampler that I started for leap year this year. So on February 29th, I started it. And what I did was I printed out the paper pattern, and then I drew lines on it to chop it up into 48 parts, with the idea that I would complete one part every month and have it done in the 4 years. So this is where I've got to so far. So for the end of September, I'll bring it closer. The end of September, I should have had a bit more done on this side. So I still got to do that, but I'm good. So I want to continue to do that once a month to get, I'll have to do in October, a little bit more of September's and then October's. But it's actually really quite approachable, the size of each section. So this is a modern folk embroidery pattern. I don't ever want to say I don't see a lot of people stitching it, because I probably, I'm only one person in a sea of all the cross stitchers of the world. And so it would be nice to know if there are other people stitching this one. And this is on, let's see here, a 36 count country mocha is what this fabric is. And I'm stitching it using 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads. Let me think for 1 second. Yes, okay, it's this one. I'm going to put this down. I am using, to get this correct, I am using Cosmo floss for this one. So these are the flosses that I have pulled. I tried braiding. Some of them I do braid. I do find that it does help them from not getting quite so tangled. I need to spend some time doing that with some of my other patterns. And then I just easily use a needle or something a little thicker and pull one strand out to work with it. Just hang on. I'm sorry. I have completely lied to you. No, these are all DMC. I'm sorry. I have completely lied to you because some of my patterns I've converted to Cosmo. Sorry. This one is DMC floss. And I'm trying not to do so much editing. I find that prevents me from putting up a video. It takes me hours to do it because I kind of stress over it a bit. And so I'm trying to just be au natural. So a lot of these mistakes and stuff are staying in. I'm really hoping that it'll just help me to get out videos a little bit more and not be so stressed over putting something out there into the world. Okay, so that is that one. The next sampler that I have been working on, I started it September 1st. So for sampler September last year on September 1st of 2023. And this is it. Okay, let me make sure I get it in the right spot here. It is called Elizabeth Tassel 1827. 1827. Actually, I'll show you the original pattern. This is the original pattern. And it's from Northumberland Sampler House, Anita. And this one I am doing, I have converted it to Cosmo Floss. So here is where I'm at. This is eyelets, Algerian eyelets. And I had stitched this whole thing. And then I was stitching on the band sampler and kind of got looking, and I realized that I was maybe not doing the stitch path correctly. So I know there's no right and wrong, and I could have left it. But sometimes if you do the correct stitch path, the Algerian eyelets come out a little better. You see the hole in the middle. And so it actually was very easy to pull out, and then I have restitched it. And, obviously we're going down this way, but I have really enjoyed this one. It is on her fabric that I got. It's 32 count sand. And these are, I did convert it to Cosmo Floss. These are the flosses. They're very nice. And I treated myself, I got a scissor or like a little fob to go with it. So I treated myself to that. Now, the reason why I had purchased this pattern, because I had seen the patterns, and there is a lady on YouTube that I have watched. I don't really watch her much anymore, but I really enjoyed her. And many of you might know is called The Last Homely House. And she's in the Northumberland area. And so that's why I had chosen this pattern. I had watched this lady, like I haven't looked for a while. She, I think, has over 100,000 followers now, like a lot. But I started watching her when she had like 200 followers and she knew my name personally and so on. So it was really neat to watch her. It's the first kind of stuff I started watching on YouTube, and I found it fascinating. Now she's got a lot, and there's not that personal touch anymore, just because, like when you get that popular, it's hard to keep up with. When you have like, I'm sure, 4,000 comments on one of your videos, how do you personally look at all that stuff. So she's a quilter, and so I did enjoy it. But I kind of just fell away a little bit. Some of our some of our just thoughts in life began to kind of separate, and so I just don't pay as much attention, but that's why I got it. I also have one other sampler from Northumberland Sampler House that I would like to do when this one is done. This is some information if you want, because she was very helpful and I really enjoyed. She has a lot of patterns now, but this is some information if you want that. Okay. Well, I had worked on those samplers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had those 5 samplers going, and so I decided to treat myself to a new start. So back, I have been watching Kelly from Black Thread Studio since she first started. She was also watching The Last Homely Host, and I think still does, but she has started a YouTube channel called Black Thread Studio. And I've been watching her for a while, so kind of since she started, and she's just a fabulous person. I really enjoy her a lot. When she got in, she's a quilter and really an art quilter. And when she kind of was dabbling, she was a cross stitcher from back in the 90s and 2000s and picked it up again here from COVID on. And so she had started this sampler, and I got onto eBay and found it, and I just never started it. So this is the sampler, and it's called the Cricket Collection, from the Cricket Collection. It's called A Walk in the Woods, and I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And so I finally started it. Okay, this one. And this is my start. I start in the upper right-hand corner. So I have started right up in here. And I'm going to go this way because I'm left-handed, and that's how, so that my hand doesn't rub over. There's no right or wrong. Like in always, however you stitch, I just find that now that I'm doing this, that my hand doesn't rub over the stitches like it would if I was doing it the other way. So I've really enjoyed it. I love the greens and purples next to that teal color. It's just absolutely fabulous. This fabric is a 32 count linen, and it is hand dyed by Rolanda, and she's a Canadian dyer. And I did wash the fabric before I started. I thought I'm just going to get that out of the way just to see if it changes at all. Didn't do a thing. I do use a product called Retain, and to just prevent the dye from coming out of the fabric. I don't know if it's 100% effective, but I got no running of this, and so I feel safe in being able to wash it after I'm done. I started this September 21st here, and I'm enjoying it very, very much. It's been great. And I'm doing this all in the called for DMC floss. So let me just make sure that's this one here. Yeah. Okay, that was great to start that. And also I was going to say Kim from Stitch and Stuff. Kim is doing this one. That's who else I've seen is actually working on this sampler too. So that's kind of cool. I like seeing her progress. The last sampler that I want to show you is, it is a sampler. I started watching Jean Farish, and she has a Flosstube, and she's been a cross stitcher and designer since, I guess, the 80s or whatever. And this sampler I'm going to show you is a family sampler vintage sampler, like a reproduction sampler that she had charted, and then she decided, when was this? Back in 2021, she had revamped it to brighten it up and do different colors, just to kind of maybe just give a more modern look to the pattern. And so that's what she did. It was a mystery stitch along that it came out in 6 parts, and it was a video that you could watch, which was really great. I've never seen anything back then. That's the first one I had ever seen where I could watch a video to learn about the other embroidery stitches that are in this. So I was doing it in hand. I was having a hard time with it. And so I put it on a scroll frame. And so this is going to be it. I'm just going to put this back to try. So this is the first time that I've ever done satin stitch. And I just was really in hand having trouble seeing the holes and whatnot. This is a mystery cloth. I had got it from a quilting store in Calgary. And she had sent it to me when I first started to pick up the Cosmo floss. And I was having difficulty. I wasn't getting a lot of progress. And so I started doing better once I put it on the scroll frame. Now in Sampler September, I actually never got to this one. What I had done was I was giving myself 5 days to work on each sampler. And I actually really like that. I'm not a completely monogamous stitcher, but I like getting into a groove on my stitching, and I felt the 5 days was really nice. But this one I never actually got to. It's downstairs on a frame, like a floor stand that I use. And I just never got down here to do that. What I would like to do is I would like to make this starting in October. I would like to make this a stitch that I did. So this would be my oldest. Right now, this would be my oldest pattern that I've started. And what I'd like to do is check the chart, kind of section it off, and do one section every 10 days. And I have done that once on a pattern, and that worked really well for me. I really liked that. It was very good at making me move along. And so that's what I've decided to do with this one, is I've printed off some stuff, and I'm going to start with one bit every 10 days to try to get this done. I'm not sure how many parts it's going to end up being. So it might take me, more than, I'm not sure how long it's going to take me. But I'm going to figure that out and have an end date and see if I can match that. So that's the end of my Sampler September plans. I feel very successful. I have 2 more samplers to show you. One is an old finish that I finished a while ago. And I was just going to look it up if it doesn't take me too long to do this. Okay. So this is the original chart. I had seen this on Mama Loves You GB way back in the day, back in, I have I had started it in 2022 in November, and I finished it in January of 23. But I just, and then I fully finished it. Actually, I don't have that. But what I did was I used Krista West, her hem stitch video from Avlia Folk Embroidery. And this is what my finish looks like. Now, I did do some personalization at the bottom. I didn't put her name on. I put our name. So Darcy, Miller, and Heather. And I tried to do a few things because this little girl, or the person who had done this, she put some ghosted type letters, or she ran out of space and made it really small. So I did that on some of it just to get my name in, just in the general theme of what she did in her in this sampler back in the day. And then I had put Namibia 2013 because we have been to Namibia back in 2013. So I just put that on as a remembrance to that trip. And then the next one that this is the only other one that I finished. And it is this one, and I'll put it on a thing. I did the hem stitch. I had finished this back in June, and I just did the hem stitch on it here now. I really like this way of finishing samplers. I really like it. So this is done on 37 count Russian tea cake linen. I used a Mrs. Sadis silk rouge and then a Karen Water Lilies teak. This is charted by Sharon Huffstetler of Thy Needles Work. And again, I used the pattern, the hem stitch video of Krista West. And I also looked up the hem stitch on the Royal Needlework Stitch Bank and watched that. And between the two of them, I did this. If there was a letter that represented someone in my family, I put it in the red, the rouge. And then I personalized, I put just my name on this side so you can see. And I'll show you what it looks like on the back. I'm not sure quite how I'm going to display this, but I'm very happy to have it done. So this is what it looks like on the back. Yeah, I really like this hem stitching for samplers. Now, just checking my notes. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is not a sampler at all. Those are all my sampler September plans, all done. But I have purchased a year ago-ish this set of seasonal samplers by Blueberry Ridge Design. And I decided for the autumn equinox, so that was September 22nd, that I would start them. I'm going to get this out. Okay, so I probably will have to put in a picture of what the original, because it's a PDF pattern. But this is what I've got done so far. Just a very, very tiny start on the border on the right-hand side. This is a very large piece of fabric, and I plan to do all 4 of them on this fabric. and it's quite a big piece. It's way bigger than what I'm going to need. It's a very light, because I wanted to try for the first time 40 count. I wasn't sure that I would be able to do it without having an actual magnifier in front of me. I do use glasses, but I found this, if I put it in a hoop, which you can kind of see the outline, I tried to iron some of this, but if I put it in a hoop, I have no problem seeing the fabric threads to be able to stitch. So I'm using one thread over 2 linen threads. This fabric is from, where is it from? I thought it had her name on it. I got it from Embroidery Marketplace. I'll have to put the fabric dyer's name. She's from Calgary, Alberta, and I got it from Embroidery Marketplace, which is also in Calgary. It's a 40 count linen. It's just called a light neutral. I wish I could remember her name. But anyway, I'll put it down below. Now, for this one, I wanted to use some of some threads that I had picked. And so I just wanted to show you what I have picked. And these are 3 different variegated threads from Cosmo floss line. I'll put them, see if I can hold them. And they're just sort of 3 different ones. I'm going to be using this dark one for the border, and then these 2 for the inside motifs. And what I hope to do is do the border enough to get around to at least the bottom on the right hand side and the corner on the top, so that I can start the next one at each equinox of each different season. So I'm really happy with my progress over the last month and some since the last time I seen you. This video it looks like it's 37 minutes. Maybe I have a few bit more time to tell you about my October plans. In my previous video, I showed you a set of birds that I would like to do from Panochka that I got. It was a yearly series last year in 2023, and I bought them from her. And so I would like to start the first one. I did pull threads for that first one, and I still have to decide what I'm going to do about the fabric for that. I have a fabric, but how I'm exactly going to do it. I'm hoping to turn each one into a needle book is what I want to do. I really am missing, I would really like a needle book for some of these long-term projects that has that I can house my needles instead of right in the fabric, and also it has like a thread bed with it for my extra little bits, because I am pretty thrifty on my thread. I have done a series there of a PDF series from a lady on Etsy. She's a Ukrainian designer. I'll put it up here. And this is some information off of Etsy. Her name and stuff up at the top. And this is, there's 4 in the series, and I have stitched this one. I loved the blue in this. I love the blue in this. A lot of back stitch. What I did for the back stitch was I took her colored pattern and I put it into Good Notes, which I have, and then I was able to blow it up, and then I actually used a different color to highlight where I had stitched. Now, going back to this, Is every single back stitch in this little bit of nesting down there perfect? No, but you'd never know the difference. So I did find that helpful. Then I could keep track of where I was, and I found it, yeah, worthwhile. So I have done one other one, and that is this one. And I just loved the white pumpkin. And so there's two more in this series that I would like to start. And I probably will put in a picture of the next one that I would like to get started, because I have pulled the colors a long time ago for that. And so I'd like to do that. And then the last one is I had started the Bent Creek Arch series. And I need to pull threads, but I would like to start this one sometime in October as well. So this is what the pattern looks like. And so I would like to start that. I think I'm going to try that approach for October. It's like every 5 days, do something different, because I found that really helpful. It was easy to keep track of, 1st to the 5th, 6th, and so on. And I found that that was kind of enough that I could get a bit of progress, but then I would go on to something different. Now, I have one other thing left to show you, and that was, I've shown you this, that I finished this piece. It's the Guardian Angel from Lavender and Lace, but I did get it fully finished, and so I thought I would show you what that looked like. So I'm very happy with the finish. This is what it looks like on the back. So it's like a painter's canvas. And I did baste like a plastic thread type stuff up here. It's actually a red thread that you can use for gridding for different projects, for cross stitch or like full coverage to do gridding. And I used that to try as best I can to get it as straight on there as I could. And it was very helpful. I could get it all stapled on, and then I could pull out those things super easy, and it did help a lot. And I'm super happy with this now that it's fully finished. Since I bought the pattern in the 90s, it's so great to have this done. I just love it. Even though it's dated, I'm super happy with it. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for coming back, or if you were new, thanks for stopping by. And happy stitching, and enjoy your fall. See you, love you, bye.